Last night I had a dream about Pastor Paul, and the only other time I've ever had a dream about a YouTube person was God's healer. And I want to tell you about that first real quickly because it happened 4 days before her stroke, and the dream bothered me so much that I sent her a text message in Facebook, private message, which is here, which I copied and pasted. She didn't respond, and I didn't expect her to. She has a ton of people. But I sent that to her 4 days, and then she had her stroke. So I wanted to let you know that, and also that at one point last year, or maybe the year before, no, 2015, I had a dream, or a vision, that I saw the Eiffel Tower, and it fell over, and I saw this man with a black mask, totally in black, covering him, which I got the interpretation there was terrorist activity. So this one's about Pastor Paul, which I think he's just the best guy, because last year, as kind of a joke, just to my website, I gave him the Watchman on the Wall award, because, you know, like it shows here, this was last year. He gives us updates no matter what is happening to him. But in this dream, there was something that wasn't good, and he has been tried. The enemy has tried to stop him. If you recall, I think he had the flu or something. He was very sick when he was in Canada. He was in the hospital. There was at one point, I think when he was in Israel one time, that he was pulled aside by the policeman and checked out. He's been in a car wreck. I mean, the enemy is constantly trying to stop him, and that's kind of the idea I got with this dream. So in my dream, there's no pictures for this, but in my dream, I was in a church with Pastor Paul, and he was getting ready to have a really big dinner for everybody there in the town at noon, and it was around 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking in to help, and there was a lot of teenagers with me. So sorry, it's early in the morning. I'm telling you my dream before I forget it. We're walking into this church. So as I got in there, we're in this really wide hallway, and Pastor Paul was in there, and he was kind of bending over, and I'm like, whoa, there's Pastor Paul. He's like right here with me, and I'm talking to him. And I said something to him, and he said, the oven's not working. And I knew this was very bad, because he was going to feed the whole town with food, you know, right there at the church this Sunday, not today, but on a Sunday, or on a day where he was going to speak. And I say that because I don't want interpretations to be so specific. You know how that can be. You just don't know what day. But it was a church, and the town was coming, and his oven didn't work, and another lady showed up, and she was talking to him, and he said, and I don't know if he has a daughter, but what he said was, my daughter lives 1.5 miles away. So we're thinking, you know, this lady and I are thinking she has an oven, and I said, well, maybe you can get those great big silver aluminum banquet trays. We can fill them up with food that's easy to cook. We'll transfer them back and forth. And he kind of ignored me. And while this was going on, there were teenagers over against the wall at the hallway, and they were preteens at this point. They were doing things that preteens do, you know, boys and girls. And I'm not going to go into detail, because as Pastor Paul would say, it was disturbing. And I didn't know if Pastor Paul was watching them or not, but it bothered me what they were doing. So I started talking to him again. And I think as he was looking over in that area, his mind was occupied. Like, you know how you can be looking at something, but you're really not, because your mind is occupied. And he was thinking about this oven not working and how he was going to feed his flock. Okay, that's my interpretation. He's trying to feed his flock, and something happened that would not allow him to do that. So he's trying to come up with other ways. Again, pardon me. And that's pretty much the dream, other than a little bit later on in the same discussion, those preteens turned into toddlers. And so That's all I wanted to say. About the dream. I don't really want to interpret it other than I know he's trying to feed the flock. He's always watching for us and letting us know things. And so I would ask that you would pray about this, because I've shown you that um, other things that I've had dreams or visions about have something about them has come to pass. And, this was a little disturbing to me. So please pray for Pastor Paul in the days, weeks, and months ahead. And that's all I wanted to share today.